All right, let's see how this goes, huh? Okay, so for drawing organic materials, if you follow along on the PowerPoint that I put together, first thing I want you guys to do is ask yourself, are these surfaces shiny or matte? Where are the shading and shadows located? Is the value of the color light or dark? Okay, I want you guys always to be thinking about values and be thinking about contrast, okay? I want you to start sketching with your gray markers, and I'll show you which gray markers I'll be using. And don't even really pick up a pencil or a pen at this point. Let's start with marker. Once you've laid down, a basic base sketch with your gray markers, then you apply the color. Then if you need to adjust some of those values, go ahead and apply some more gray. And then come in, once you're kind of satisfied with the values, come in with your pen, your pencils, and start to add additional color and highlights, color correct if you need to, and add those details, all right? And just to show you what you potentially can create by doing this, I've drawn this, actually drew this a few semesters ago. It's not totally complete, but you can see how by layering the markers and then coming back and adding detail with your white color pencil, filling in some of the darker areas with the dark gray, you can see that you can really start to make this rendering really come alive and really pop. One thing that I want you guys to really concentrate on is really including these dark values. These are almost black, right? And what makes the green really vibrant and pop is the fact that it's above or superimposed on these really dark areas, okay? I'm gonna give a tutorial here, and I'll probably just, rather than draw the whole thing, I'm just gonna kind of choose a cluster of leaves and show you how to go about doing that and really focusing on the values. So first thing, as far as materials go, I'm using the cool grays for this. You probably could use the French grays if you really wanted to, but I tend to like to use the cool grays more. So I have the whole spectrum here from 10% up to 90, okay? And then I have my green markers, light olive green, lime green, and I actually have teal blue. I'm not totally sure about this one, but I wanted to have it available if I needed it. And then I also have cream, okay? And then as far as colored pencils go, I've sharpened all these. I want to keep a really sharp point. I have my white, obviously, for highlights, for bringing some of those greens a little bit lighter, because there are some pretty light, vibrant greens. I have a yellow, I have a little bit lighter green, I have my black color pencil, and then a dark green, okay? And then, of course, my pen. All right, so, one thing that I like to do, and it's probably not going to be as much of an issue with the Bristol paper because it's a little bit thicker, I like to put down a sheet of tracing paper, tape it down onto my table just in case I have some marker bleeding through my paper. Then it'll catch on the tracing paper and not get onto my table, okay? So the first thing I want to do, and I want you guys to draw this at least 8 by 8. It's not a perfect square, so don't draw it too small. I know it's a lot more comfortable to draw things smaller, but don't draw too small, okay? So the first thing I like to do is get out my markers and kind of lay them down. One, to make sure that they're working. And then two, to remind myself just how dark they might be. Okay, so I have my I have my 10%, 30%. Actually, I thought these were in order, but not. This is the 50, this is the 70, and then the 90 is right there. Okay, and actually, it looks like I have 20% French gray, but that's okay. Right, we're drawing, what's nice about drawing organic materials, kind of like the paper sack, is it doesn't have to be perfect. And if your leaf is slightly a different shape than what's in the image that we're drawing, it's not going to matter because of that organic nature, right? It's still going to read as a leaf. You know, if we were drawing something like a chair and it had really straight legs, you know, if we got off a little bit straight or it started to curve, then it would change the whole character of that chair. But because we have these organic leaves, then it's not going to be as much of a issue. Okay, laying down cream, lime green. Okay, then we have our light olive green, and then, like I said, I might not use this one, but I also have the teal blue. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and normally I would have this on a separate piece of paper, but because I'm just going to draw a little bit of the image, I'll just draw it on the same piece of paper. Sorry, I'm pulling up the actual image to draw here. Okay, so I'll start out with just my 10% gray, and I'm going to sketch. And again, I'm using such a light color. I'm not worried about exactness, right? What we're trying to do is convey, you know, the basic shape of a leaf. You know, we of course want to draw it somewhat close to, you know, to what we see in the image, but we don't need to be totally concerned about it being perfect. Okay, so I'm looking at kind of the most center leaf that has this shape, and it has some water, some water droplets. Just trying to sketch the most basic shape. Okay, then there's another leaf kind of up here that's doing something like this. Okay, and then you'll see in the image that this area right here is really pretty dark, and then underneath the leaf here is pretty dark as well. So I've sketched out the basic form with my 10%, trying to include some of the kind of veining on the leaf, okay, and indicating where some of those really dark values may be. Then I'm going to get my 30% and start to darken in some of those, you know, those really darker values. And again, this is just the 30%. This is actually the French gray, like I said. You probably want to use your cool gray, but this will work too because we're eventually going to go green, right? I'm just starting to show where some of those really darker values are.